Philippine Handloom Weaving Center at Textile Revitalized Project. Ating tatalakayin kasama si Dr. Julius Liaño Jr., ang Director ng Philippine Textile and Research Institute ng Department of Science and Technology. Dr. Liaño, magandang tanghali po.
Magandang tanghali po.
Magandang tanghali po. I like yung textiles na suot kagad ni Dr. Liaño.
Thank you very much.
Ibinibida na ni Sir. Sir, kamakailan po ay inilunsad ang Philippine Handloom Weaving Center sa Taguig. Ano po yung layunin nito at bakit ito mahalaga para sa industriya ng paghahabi sa Pilipinas?
Well, last week po nilaunch nga yung Philippine Handloom Weaving Innovate Center sa Taguig, and this is technically to put together our handloom weaving activities in the Philippines. So, tumang-tungma, nag-cancel ng pasok. So, malamang lahat ng ating mga manghahabi nasa kanilang mga bahay ngayon. So, we wanted them to be connected, we wanted them to be looped. And itong center na po ito is actually a belated reaction kasi dumadami yung ating handloom weaving centers across the Philippines, and we need a central command. And that exactly is the Handloom Weaving Center based in the headquarters of the Philippine Textile Research Institute.
Dr. Liaño, paano po pinagsama ang siyensya at sining sa pagpapalago ng industriya ng paghahabi sa pamamagitan ng center na ito, the art and the science?
The art and the science, yes. Marami pong science na pumapasok dyan actually. Yung sinulid na ginagamit natin o yung fiber na ginagamit, yung kulay na ginagamit natin, yung loom, yung makina na ginagamit. These are all products of science and engineering. And gusto natin, hindi naman tayo mahuli. So the productivity raises, for example, the width of the looms, medyo mas mahaba. So all of these are part of our efforts to infuse science and technology in this age-old, traditional crafts.
Nabanggit niyo yung sinulid, nabanggit niyo yung loom. So, ano pa po yung mga ibang tampok ng weaving center na pwede pong magamit ng ating local weavers at ano po yung mga bagong teknolohiya at inobasyon sa paghahabi na ituturo o gagamitin sa center na ito?
Number one po yung training. So that center is actually part of the Textile Academy. Doon po tayo nagtitrain. By the way, we just had certified 23 new handloom weavers doon sa NC2 ng ating ng TESDA. That's for Upright Handloom Weaving. And then meron tayong design and development para hindi naman paulit-ulit. Baka may bago naman, may bagong kulay, may bagong disenyo, bagong style. And then we also have yung engineering component. Ito yung instead po na magpagawa ka ng the parts of the loom, kunwari sa Zamboanga, pwedeng isend na lang namin yung digital file doon and iti-3D print nila doon yung mga parts already in Zamboanga, so you don't have to do it here in Manila. And then the more sophisticated part, I think, is yung digitalization. Kailangan tayo connected na digitally. So number one po nito is makakausap namin ngayon yung weaver mula sa San Remigio, Antique through the center. Makakausap natin yung mga naghahabi sa Basilan, for example, or Tawi-Tawi. And this is exactly what this digital divide is trying to put together, na kaya na natin ngayon mag-coordinate, kaya natin mag-synchronize, mag-usap, at lalong-lalo ngayon, lahat ng mga tao, lahat ng ating mga hobby nasa back-to-home base baga. So they are trying to weave, and this is the best time actually to communicate and talk to them and discuss also the technologies available for them.
Nakakatuwa, Dr. Liaño, kasi yung technology nagko-connect ngayon. No? Usually sa weaving, sinasabi parang baka mamaya maging obsolete, mawala. So ngayon nakikita natin, paano nakakatulong yung mga teknolohiyang ito sa pagpapabilis ng produksyon at pagpapataas ng kalidad ng mga hinabing produkto?
Well, number one, unang-una po dyan talaga yung pagpasok ng bagong konsepto natin ng sinulid. Hindi na lang ito yung cotton na, alam mo yun, the normal cotton. Dapat may bago. Ano yung bago? Haluan mo ng pinya, haluan mo ng abaka, haluan mo ng banana, for example, even bamboo. So these are the new yarns that we have developed. Sa natural dyes naman, instead na yung typical natin na jobus na dyes, we are now using different plant sources para magkakulay yung ating mga sinulid. And sa looms naman, meron tayong tinatawag na upright. Yung iba dati nakaupo sa floor, itatali mo sa kahoy yung one. These are still part of tradition, but some of them also wants to sit upright, and yun po yung ating hand loom. So all of these technologies come into play. Plus, of course, yung strong po na pasok ng ating creative industries, yung creative direction, hindi po matatalo ang Pinoy doon. That's why the merging of our scientific developments and advancements, plus, of course, our innate creativity ay talagang nagko-converge sa ating Philippine textiles.
Nabanggit nyo, Doctor, yung bagong yarns, yung looms, yung dyes. Pero yan, malalaman yan ng mga weaver kapag sumailalim sila sa training. Pero ano po yung ginagawa ng DOST PTRI upang isulong ang paggamit ng mga likas, sustainable at natural fiber-blended yarns sa labas naman? Paano po magiging aware yung ating mga kababayan in general?
Well, number one po namin platform, yung meron kaming tinatawag na Kathabi. Alam niyo po, ang textiles, it has to be seen, has to be felt. Yung Kathabi, actually, fashion show yun, mga ase. It's a fashion show, we need to see it, we need to feel it. So sa Kathabi, doon nila nakikita. And you know, when people start to see it, you can start to imagine. So dahil po doon, nasusustain natin yung creative ideas by providing all of this on the ground. We go to the ground, we go to the communities. We now even have the Cotton PH program. Ibinabalik natin na mag-weave ulit tayo ng Philippine cotton. So all of these are efforts para po mapagtagni-tagni natin yung ating mga, all of these things happening in different fronts para yung ating mga weavers get to be updated, not just with the design direction, but also platforms for them to show their creativity.
Kailangan ko lang talaga sabihin, Asik Joby, fiber-blended yarn.
Yes.
Diba? Oh. Mula sa inyong datos, Dr. Lianyo, ilan na po ang kasalukuyang bilang ng mga weavers at weaving communities sa Pilipinas? At paano po ninyo napapanatiling kultura ang paghahabi, no? Lalo na ang mga traditional na tela. Yung pinag-usapan natin, no? How do we ensure na itong tradisyon ay talagang hindi mawawala kahit high-tech na tayo ngayon?
Yes, meron po kaming platform, we call it Salin Hobby. It's actually a website. And right now, it's moving. We are now in the parang 6,000 plus handloom weavers na ang naitala dito. At pag naitala, alam po natin yung datos, hindi lamang edad o pangalan, pero you know even their capability. And then pag sa handloom weaving communities po, nasa 500 na rin po yung mga handloom weaving communities across the Philippines. At matutuwa po kayo dahil around 40% of that ay nasa Cordillera. At the other half po naman ay nasa Mindanao. So it's a very strong rebounding industry. Napapanatili po natin yung kultura because part of that Salin Hobby is a documentation of all of these patterns. Like the one I'm wearing, this is from Mindoro. So documented po sila, they are part of the database. At pag database, hindi po yan publicly open.
Yes.
Pag ayaw ng community i-open yung details, hindi po yan makikita. What do I mean details? Yung paano po i-hobby. Kasi meron po itong tinatawag namin na parang kumbaga sa kanta may musical score. At yun po ang nagbibigay ng idea how to actually recreate it. But if the community says, oh, this is not for public consumption, then we protect it as part of their cultural property.
May follow-up question ako, Doc, no? Singit ko lang. Sabi niya may 6,000 plus na handloom weavers. May mga Gen Z ba dito at may mga millennial?
Nakakatuwa at meron po. Yes, meron. At hindi lang Gen Z, marami rin pong kalalakihan. So this is the changing demographics of weaving. Dati po, highly women and a little bit older. Pero nung nakita namin yung datos, may mga 20 plus, even younger than the 20 plus age group because these are the second generation weavers already.
That's good.
And a good number of male who are also weaving.
Sa ibang usapin naman po, Doctor, pwede niyo po bang ipaliwanag kung ano yung TexRev o Textile Revitalized Project ng DOST PTRI at paano nagsimula ang initiative na ito?
Pag nakikita niyo po, paragi tayong production. Saan mapupunta ba yung tela? And we know it always ends in landfills. And there's a huge problem ng solid waste po, especially sa Taytay. Saan pupunta yung scraps? So ang scraps normally ginagawang basahan. But yung basahan, technically, after mo magamit, one-time use, itatapon. So it's still landfill. So what we try to do is the first level of engagement is work with the local government in Taytay. We gathered some of the waste. By the way, this is a collaboration with Bio Foundation. At yung mga lilit po yan na scrap ng tela, pinaghihiwalay po ulit and we get fibers again from them. And then yung fiber na yon nagiging sinulid and then magiging tela ulit. So this is part of closing the loop, towards the circular economy bid of our textile industry. So maganda po siyang way because, as a matter of fact, this solid waste is a huge problem of our local governments. Kasama po siya sa hazard ng textile industry. And because of this project, nakakaya natin without doing anything high-tech. Pinaghihiwalay mo lang yung fiber and you can make new yarns again. So, ang maganda rin po, may buy-in and take ang ating private sector. So, the appetite is also there to go more circular, more green, and I think more responsible ang ating production at saka consumption.
Doc, meron bang partisipasyon dito ang creative sector sa bansa tulad ng ating mga fashion designers sa pag-promote ng mga sustainable materials? Ano po ang mga role nila sa initiative na ito?
Napakalaki po kasi itong design direction, kailangan saluin niya yung mga materials eh. The materials can only go so far. Pero pag, alam mo, pag talagang hinawakan na ng Filipino designer, nag-iiba talaga. And I'm referring to our, to those who closely work with us, yung mga miyembro ng Philippine Fashion Coalition, for example, the big names and in the fashion industry. If I may mention, JC Wendy also works with us. Avel Bacudio works with us. So, iba-iba pong niche and market yung ating tina-target. And ang isa sa mga gusto naming puntahan is because the uniform of government. Eh.
Yes.
Kasi kasama po sa batas, di po ba? Yung
Every Monday.
Yes. The Monday is the civil service one. Pero meron po tayong batas na 90 to 42, which actually mandates us to use locally made fabrics.
Right.
For the 4 days na nag-uniforme tayo. So, we want to sustain the momentum and be able to, channel it really, not just for patriotism's sake, but also for economic purposes. Kasi this is really a huge captive market that can ma-revive po yung industry natin sa pagtetela sa Pilipinas.
May plano ba, Dr. Leanio, ang PTRI na i-expand itong tax rev sa ibang garments manufacturers o yung fashion brands sa bansa?
Yes. Opo, definitely. At hindi lang dito sa Taytay or sa Maynila or sa Luzon, we can even move to the Visayas, even to Mindanao. The model has been set. Technologies have been developed. And this is, hindi ito kanya-kanya eh. That's why we also work with a lot of our brands para hindi matigil doon sa research output and then tumawid talaga siya. Magamit talaga natin. Whether maging jacket man yan or maging, home textiles, it's a huge market na nag-aantay lang para sa atin.
Paano po makikipag-ugnayan sa tanggapan?
Well, napaka-active po ang aming Facebook page at DUST-PTRI Facebook page, and you can, just drop a message there. Sasagutin po namin ora mismo para po agad-agad po tayo makakapagkaroon ng pwedeng pakipag-ugnayan at a working relations, ika nga, para po sa ating mga initiatives and textiles, garments, and the related industries.
Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras, Dr. Julius Leanio Jr., Director ng Philippine Textile and Research Institute ng DOST. Thank you, sir.
Thank you po.
Thank you, sir.